Yo. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show, man. Today is October the 26th. Check my mic. Okay. Yeah. October 26th. There are, I think it's 10 games in the NBA for today. Bunch of NFL going on. I'm actually looking at Real Madrid versus FC Barcelona as well. There's a lot going on, man. I don't bet too much soccer, but you guys know my son loves soccer. So he got me watching a soccer game with him as well. Just jump on real quick. Share some looks that I'm thinking about making today, and we'll get ready to get up off it, man. Hit the like button for me as you can, as you join, and share the link with the group chat, man. Like I always say, let's jump into it for today, man. Let's get into it. So yesterday, 2 plays. Tyus Jones over his 4.5 assists was a loser. Orlando got to figure it out offensively. They still haven't figured it out yet. So I'm off Orlando in general. But Chicago plus the points yesterday was what we talked about. That was a winner. Charlotte plus the points yesterday was a winner. We talked about that. And then who else was it? It was another game we talked about that was a winner as well. Memphis money line, Memphis first half. Those were both winners. The only other thing I bet was Atlanta team total under. We took Atlanta team total under one. I think it was 114.5, and it was an easy one. They scored just 100 points yesterday, but a lot of their offensive players ended up being ruled out. So we did get to that one. Both unders cut cash yesterday too. I talked about 2 contrarian unders. I know a lot of the games have been going over, but 2 unders did cash yesterday. Atlanta game went under, and then the Indiana and Memphis game went under yesterday as well. So if you guys made some money yesterday, let me know in the comment section, and let's jump into it for today. Hype MMA says, good afternoon, Chris, tapping in. Appreciate that. What up, Tag? Says, love the community. Mavs money line for him. Itachi, my guy, saw he just went 3-0 yesterday. What's up, Itachi? Appreciate you for tapping in, bro. Jacquees says, Kings money line. Westbrook wants revenge. Miami says, Miami says, yo, finally getting alive. Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate you for tapping in. B-Train says, thoughts on 76ers teaser. -7. We'll talk about it. ZB says, your play their soccer, because I don't play any soccer. With my son, yeah. What's up, Mark? Appreciate you for tapping in. Good morning, Prolific. Says Chris went 2-1 yesterday. Live plays though, like it. What up, Gregory? Appreciate you for tapping in. Mark says I'm also on the Real Madrid. Barcelona not the same this year. And my son I don't really think he liked Barcelona for real. I think he just liked Lamine Yamal. He loves everybody for Real Madrid. What up, 77 figures? Says Jokic triple-double cash. Shout out to LJ. Shout out to my guy LJ from H-Town, man. What up, Malik? Says, yes, sir. We back. Bulls +6 and Giddy 20 points. Heat or Knicks, Chris? We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about that one for sure. Gary says AD rebounds on FanDuel, 11.5 or plus money. All right, let's jump into it, man. Some actionable information for today. So first up, we'll start with Jackson. Jackson did go 0-1 yesterday. The play was on the Nuggets game under the total yesterday, under 234, which I liked as well. But that Suns defense looked really, really bad. You can say it was 3rd, second leg of back-to-back. Traveling the altitude wasn't great for them. But yeah, they ended up giving up, I think, 130 last night. So Denver team total was actually probably the best bet. Even if you wanted to stay away from the spread, they covered that 20 last night as well. But 0-1 day for Jackson yesterday. Today, I asked Jackson for the 2 best player props on the board in the NBA. Jackson likes Cade Cunningham over his 5.5 rebounds. It says that this pick is driven by overwhelming combination of recent performance, and an extremely favorable defensive matchup against the Boston Celtics. Cunningham has been crashing the boards aggressively, and the data shows he is consistently clearing this line. So dominant recent trend. Cade is over 5.5 rebounds in 100% of his last 5 games dating back to last season, averaging 7.8 during that span. Looking back further, he's cleared this line in 90% of his last 10 games, 80% of his last 15, maintaining a mean of about 7.13 rebounds over his last 15 games. Favorable matchup. The most compelling factor is the opponent. The Boston Celtics ranked 29th in opponent defense versus his position for rebounding against Cade Cunningham. A rank of 29 means that the Celtics are one of the absolute worst teams in the NBA at limiting rebounds to players in this spot, creating a massive statistical advantage for Cade Cunningham in this spot. So historically, Cade has historically performed well against the Celtics, hitting over 75% of his of his games in the 2024-2025 season, averaging 6.7 rebounds across those 4 games. This confirms that even against Boston, he finds a way to secure the necessary boards. So Cade Cunningham over his 5.5 boards. is first. The next look is John Collins. Jackson loves John Collins, man. Over his 21.5 points, rebounds, and assists. This did not cash on Friday night against the Phoenix Suns, but Jackson likes him again, over 21.5. I think a lot of the analysis here is the same. It says has a massive statistical has been a statistical monster lately. He's over 21.5 points, rebounds, and assists in 80% of his last 5 games, dating back to last season. Matchup: Collins faces the Portland Trailblazers, who rank 15th in opponent defense versus position for points, rebounds, and assists, which is average matchup. However, Collins has already dominated this opponent last season. So yeah, John Collins over points, rebounds, and assists, and Cade Cunningham under 5.5 boards. Those are the 2 looks for Jackson. Let's jump into it for today, man. So we'll start with the Nets and the Spurs. I think this is the first game on the board for today. We glance over at the injury report and just make sure I got it right. Get to my notes as well. All right, so we glance over at the injury report, and the the Brooklyn Nets will continue to be without Hayward Highsmith. Drake Powell, I don't think, and Danny Wolf, they haven't played yet this season, I don't think. And the Spurs, they do have, outside of De'Aaron Fox, who hasn't played yet, and Kelly Olynyk, who hasn't played yet, Jeremy Sohan, who hasn't played yet, and Lindy Waters, they will be without Luke Cornett in this game. He is also listed as out. He's been playing really good behind Victor Wembanyama for the San Antonio Spurs team. So take that information, do what you want. As far as the spread goes, it has gone up. It opened 10 yesterday. And it's up to 11.5. The total has come down, open to 20. Oh, actually opened to 26.5 yesterday is what I wrote down. Went all the way up to 229. Now it's coming back down to 227. So couple things here. Like, if you like the Spurs, this is a really, really big number. I don't think the Spurs have been laying 10.5, 11 points in quite a long time. However, the Brooklyn Nets have been absolutely trash. So you kind of worry, right? Like, it's not going to be easy to take these teams in these spots like this every single game, right? You kind of worry about, Brooklyn not having won a game yet. And San Antonio Spurs kind of looking over at Brooklyn like, oh, we're going to crush this team. However, it is San Antonio first home game of the season. This will be their season opener. And this Brooklyn team has been terrible defensively. They gave up 136 to Charlotte in game 1. We were on Charlotte in that game. They gave up 131 to Cleveland in game 2, and that was the game that was at home. Both games went well over the total, of course. It is also the first leg of a back-to-back. They got a game in Houston tomorrow. San Antonio, I mentioned them playing this season opener. They've won both games so far. They beat Dallas crushed Dallas. And then they beat New Orleans at overtime the other day. It's also the first leg of a back-to-back. And they got Toronto coming to town tomorrow as well. San Antonio did beat Brooklyn both times last season. They covered both spreads as well. So my thought process in this game was San Antonio through 2 games, they're 8th in offensive rating. Brooklyn is 29th in defensive rating. I just told you guys, they gave up 136 to Charlotte. They gave up 131 to Cleveland. I think that they should be able to score in this game. Brooklyn, outside of being 29th in defensive rating, I know it's a small sample, but they're dead last in opponent effective field goal percentage. They're also bottom 10 in offensive rebounds allowed, and they're bottom 10 in opponent free throw percentage as well. So they're giving up a ton of second chance points. They're just not really stopping anybody, and they're not really built to do that either. Michael Porter Jr. is not the greatest defensive player. They started a rookie at point guard. Cam Thomas has never been known for his defense. So I think San Antonio, I know their offense hasn't been great so far. It was great against Dallas, but I think they run it up in this game. I like San Antonio team total up and over. I think the number is 1. It came down. It was actually 119.5. I think you can get a 118.5 right now. So that's the way I would want to play this game, kind of staying away from the spread. But I do think that they can absolutely run away if they wanted to from this Brooklyn Nets team, especially with Brooklyn having a game tomorrow in Houston. So that's my thought process on this one. Let me see what you guys are saying real quick. What up, Jay Sunshine? Appreciate you for tapping in. No, I said over, Damian. Over for Cade on his 5.5 boards. B-Train says net cut that huge deficit against the Cavs, which got me scared to lay the large number right now, maybe over. I agree with that, B-Train. So what B-Train was saying, I actually didn't watch the end of that game on Friday, so I wanted to go back. I always go back before, try to dig up as much information, especially if I didn't get a chance to watch it. And I was like, bro, I'm not about to go back and watch Brooklyn play Cleveland. Like that. That's not something I want to do in my free time. But to your point, when I was looking into it, I think they cut the lead to 4 against Cleveland in that last game, and then they just couldn't score the ball in the fourth quarter. So I think it was Yeah, I want to say I can't find it right now, but yeah, I know they did cut the lead to 4, and just couldn't score the ball no more. So you're right. Pass lean on the Spurs. 77 figure says too many points here with the Spurs. Backwood down 25. I believe they were down 25. And yeah, they cut that lead. So all right, let's keep moving. I also considered, like, I didn't even really look into his numbers yet, but Terrence Mann has absolutely been doing nothing. I consider his points, rebounds, and assists under. I think he had a really terrible game the other day. That was something that I looked into. I didn't play it. The Spurs have been really solid defensively too. I think that's something to keep note of, right? I mean, they went to the overtime with the Pelicans, and the Pelicans are only going to be a great offense. Their defense is going to be trash, in my opinion, this season. That's the way I see the Pelicans. The Spurs defense, remember, they held Dallas to, what was it, 92 points in the first game? They're number 2 right now in defensive rating, number 2 in opponent effective field goal percentage as well. So just something to take into consideration. I feel like this Brooklyn team has been scoring a lot because they shoot a ton of threes. Coach Fernandez wants them to shoot a ton of threes, but they've been struggling to take care of the basketball. They're turning over at the 4th highest rate, and also not getting to the free throw line, shooting the 3rd fewest free throws as well, 4th fewest free throws as well. So San Antonio can absolutely smother this team. I think it'll be a fast-paced game, and I think San Antonio will be able to score. So San Antonio team total over here or nothing for me. Let's see, and then we'll go to the next game. Would you still lay the team total with the Spurs, being that they have the Raptors tomorrow? Yeah, I think if I'm playing the game, I'm only betting San Antonio team total over, because I do think that Brooklyn is going to push pace, and I think San Antonio will try to play a little bit faster as well. Let's see if I have San Antonio pace numbers real quick. San Antonio they're not playing fast. 25th in pace right now are the Spurs, and Brooklyn is playing at the 8th fastest pace. So we shall see how it goes. That's a fact, ZB. Sports on a Sunday are absolutely weird. I actually was looking to try to find some dogs to take today, and I got one that I'm going to share with you guys. First team total over, nothing though. Let's go to the next game. Try to speed this up and get out of here. So next game is Celtics and Pistons. This line opened at 3 yesterday in favor of the Detroit Pistons. I also see a 2.5. I didn't see a 2.5 yesterday when I was looking into this. But 3, it's up to 3.5. Total come down from 225.5 down to 224 and a half, it looks like. So we look at the injury report first. There are tons to look at on the injury report here. So the Celtics have Jaylen Brown listed as questionable. Of course, no Tatum. Luka Garza is listed as probable. Derek White has been rolled in. And then on the Detroit side of things, Karis LeVert is listed as doubtful. No Marcus Sasser. And, of course, Jaden Ivey continues to miss time as well. So Boston has played 2 games so far. They're 0-2 straight up, 0-2 against the spread. This is the first leg of back-to-back. They got a game in New Orleans tomorrow. I think it's in New Orleans tomorrow against the Pelicans. Where's that, Boston? Yeah, it's in New Orleans tomorrow. And then on the Detroit side of things, they're coming off a 4-point win when they were getting 6.5 against Houston the other night. They're also playing a first leg of a back-to-back. They got the Cleveland Cavaliers coming to town tomorrow. Cleveland actually comes to Detroit tomorrow. And, of course, they got their first win against Houston the other day. So this was a spot where I did get a chance to go back and watch, like, pretty much from beginning to end, Detroit play Houston. And you talk about a physical game. That kind of looked like a playoff matchup. I think that this Boston team, if Detroit can guard the 3-point line, man, I think Boston could be in trouble here. I don't like what I'm seeing from Boston's front court. When you got Sam Hauser and the center for Boston, I can never pronounce his name right. Quinta. When you got those guys out here, you know, and there's no Tatum and Porzingis, it's a totally different front line for Boston. I think Detroit should be able to dominate the boards in this matchup. I like Detroit in this game, man. I looked through Boston's games. Their offense through 2 games ranks 26th in efficiency, 22nd in offensive rebounding rate. They're 21st in free throw rate. On defense, they're allowing the 2nd most offensive rebounds. I watched Detroit go into Houston the other day and rebound the basketball really, really well. Detroit, on the opposite side, their defense is 7th. They're 7th in defensive rating. They're 2nd in opponent effective field goal percentage as well. So if they come out play hard, I think Boston, you'll get a good effort from Boston, especially with them being 0-2. Detroit, probably the first time in God knows how long they've been laying points, against this Boston team. But I think that they're better than Boston this season. I like what I know I talked about the other day, not really liking what I saw from not really liking Duncan Robinson too much, but he played really, really well, shot the ball really, really well. You got Jalen Duren, Cade Cunningham's going to turn up for this game as well. I think Boston will take a step back defensively, but offensively, they're not. This is not the Boston Celtics that we're used to. So I do agree with this being pushed from 3.5, from 3 to 3.5. I think you can still get a 3 on Circa right now. That's the way that I would look at this game. I know it may seem like it's an easy play, but I think with it being their home opener, that's the way I would look at this game. I don't think that this Detroit team will take Boston lightly, put it like that. And I do think that Detroit has more talent than Boston does right now. I'm worried about Boston, man. Losing to Philly, getting smoked like they did to the Knicks. I know it's the Knicks, but getting smoked like they did. They just bottom 5 or 10 in a lot of stuff right now. I know it's only 2-game sample size, but that's my thought process. Let's see. ZB says I took Pritchard over his 5.5 field goals at -110 on Hard Rock. I didn't even know that was available to bet. Prolific says I never thought I'd start fading my Celtics. Said, yeah, I mean this is not your Celtics though, Prolific. This is Celtics of this is a different Celtics team. I mean they got New Orleans tomorrow. They'll probably beat New Orleans. Maybe they'll beat New Orleans, but that'll be an interesting game. I'm interested to see where that line starts at. But that's my thought process, man. I think Detroit's the better team. I like the way that they went and were able to get the job done against Houston the other day. Watching that game, if they play with that same level of intensity, they're not good enough. The Boston's not good enough to beat them. That's my thought process. All right, next game up, Charlotte Hornets in the Washington Wizards. I told you guys I was going to look up tickets for this game. I don't want tickets now that Brandon Miller's, probably not going to play. So we look at the injury report. Of course, Charlotte's on the second leg of a back-to-back. They lost last night to the Philadelphia 76ers. But short travel, right? It don't take that long to get from Philly to DC. Josh Green's listed as doubtful, probably won't play. We'll see how that goes. Same thing with Grant Williams. And then Brandon Miller, he left the game, asked to be subbed out last night, walked through the tunnel with some left shoulder soreness. And I'm not sure if he's going to play in this game or not. The Wizards on the opposite side, pretty healthy. Everybody except Bilal will be there for this game. So you got the Wizards, a nice spot for the Wizards here. Season opener, rest advantage. Charlotte playing on the second leg of a back-to-back. We know LaMelo. We'll see if LaMelo even plays on the second leg of a back-to-back. I feel like they're always pretty precautious with him, but I'm expecting him to be out there. We shall see. This Charlotte team actually was up double digits last night with under 6 minutes to go, and then they just could not make a shot. Couldn't get a stop either. Philly actually ended the game on a 23-9 run and ended up winning the game 125-121. Charlotte did cover that 5 though. And the Hornets, it's crazy to think, but they actually stink against the Wizards. They're 3-9 against the Wizards in their last 12 games, and they lost 5 in a row against the Washington Wizards. I can't lay points with the Wizards. I know that they're coming off a very impressive win against the Dallas Mavericks the other day, but I would want to wait to see what happens with Brandon Miller. The total in this game also continued to trickle up, open 234.5, up to 238.5. Wizards are not a team that I'm expecting to play much defense. I think this game will be played fast pace as well. This is super high total. I don't think I could take over it without Brandon Miller, being there. But this is a great game for props. I'm not sure who to play on. Probably LaMelo over his points. But Carrington has looked really, really good. He's looked like the best Washington Wizards player so far on that side of things. So potentially him, doing what he does. Tyrese Maxey went off last night playing that same point guard position. Him and VJ had a pretty good game. So I guess those are the ways that I would probably look towards. But LaMelo should, even on the second leg of back-to-back, if he plays, especially without Brandon Miller, if he's ruled out, should have a good game. And then Colin Sexton, man, I really like Colin Sexton. We'll see if they keep him in the bench role, but I like Colin Sexton and what he's able to bring to the table as well. So those are my thoughts. I can't lay 2 points with the Wizards though. Like that's just not something I can do, Adrian. Don't let me talk you off. I just don't want to get there. Put my money on the Wizards as a favorite. Not something I want to do. Keyshawn has looked good too. Keyshawn George has looked really, really good. Both of those guys have looked pretty good. Him and Bud Carrington have looked good. What's up, dude? Appreciate you for tapping in. All right, let's keep it pushing. Next game up we have is the New York Knicks and the Miami Heat. Somebody was asking about this game. So Knicks actually opened. I wrote it down yesterday. I don't think I wrote it down. Spread wasn't out when I was looking into these games, but it looked like 2 is what it opened at in favor of the New York Knicks, and now it's up to looks like 3, 2.5. Total hasn't really moved a lot. 229.5, 230, 229, kind of all over the place between those three numbers. We start with the injury report, and it always makes it hard, man. It's one of the reasons I haven't really been paying attention too much to the Knicks is because I've been wanting to watch the games where everybody plays. And the Knicks, just looking at their updated injury report, looks like Josh Hart is listed as probable. Let me just double check it on my phone too. Looks like Josh Hart is listed as probable. It looks like Miles McBride is listed as questionable. Karl-Anthony Towns listed as questionable. And Mitchell Robinson listed as out. So, of course, these are three big, injuries, right? Cat, McBride, Josh Hart, who I am expecting to play. On the opposite side, the Miami Heat will continue to be without Tyler Hero. I forgot how to pronounce his name. I actually looked it up earlier. The rookie, Vakachunas, something along those lines. He will continue to be out, and of course, no Terry Rozier. So the Miami Heat are coming off. Both teams are coming off really big wins. The New York Knicks beat the Celtics. The Miami Heat, of course, went into Memphis and stole one, and didn't really steal it. I mean, they actually smoked them. Got them about the way, man. I kind of want to take the Knicks. So let me go through my notes. So the Knicks 2-0 against the spread so far this season. They play the Bucks on Tuesday. The Miami Heat 2-0 against the spread as well. This is their season opener, and they host Charlotte on Tuesday. The Knicks have won the last three meetings. They've covered the last two spreads. They played 5 straight overs between these two teams. I kind of think that this one goes over as well. I think the Knicks will be able to score. Miami's offense is super undervalued, it feels like right now. We got to remember the first game that they played of the season, they went into Orlando and dropped, 130 on Orlando, 127, something like that. I think that Miami offense is just undervalued right now. They got a 121.8 offensive rating, which is 6th in the NBA, 6th in effective field goal percentage as well as 59. Knicks could overlook them a little bit, and if I play the Heat, I typically want them as a dog at the crib. I kind of want to get on Miami first half in this game. They won and covered both first halves. They're doing a really good job of offensive rebounding the basketball right now as well. It feels like they're undervalued in the market. I mean, this is not a big number, right? It's just 3. So I kind of feel like the books know something. But I kind of want to be on Miami in this game. I know the Knicks have looked really, really good. They're 4th in defensive rating, 1st in offensive rebound rate for their opponent, and 2nd in free throw rate. So not giving up a lot of free throws. I just kind of like what I'm seeing from Miami. I kind of want to be on Miami early in this game. That's the way that I want to play it. Miami early in this game. Let's see what you guys are thinking, if anything at all. Prolific says, "Oh, the manipulation report is live and well. We know it. We know it. We know it." ZB says it's going to be a good game. Yeah, we'll see if Miami lets up a little bit, but I like it. I'm just liking what I'm seeing from Miami right now. It looks like they're moving the ball. They're shooting the 3 really well. Also, they scored 146 points and had a damn near 40-point lead at halftime against the Memphis Grizzlies the other day. So yeah, I like that. They're shooting a 3-point shot really, really well right now as well. And I kind of think that they can catch the Knicks slipping. So I lean Miami first half. You can get probably a +1.5 out there right now. Let me just double check real quick. Miami. I also think this game goes over. I think both teams will be able to score. Miami first half, you can get a +1.5 right now on pretty much all the books right now. Look like it's consensus. So that's the way that I would look. Then maybe the Knicks come back in the second half. I feel like they're a good second half team. So those are my quick thoughts on that game. Let's see what else nobody else is saying anything in the comments. So let's keep it pushing. Next up, we got the Bucks and the Cavs. So this line, I saw 6.5. What I'm seeing now is that it looks like it was at 8. And now it's back down to 6.5. Total has moved up from 233.5 up to 234.5. So a little bit of money coming in on the over in this game. We look at the injury report for the Bucks. They will be without Kevin Porter Jr. Kyle Kuzma is listed as questionable. It looks like, what is Kyle Kuzma dealing with? He is dealing with an ankle injury. And then Cole Anthony is listed as questionable as well. I think that's really, really big in this game because granted, they have depth, but I like Cole Anthony off this bench for Milwaukee. And then Giannis is listed as probable. On the opposite side for Cleveland, DeAndre Hunter is listed as questionable. Of course, Max Strus and Darius Garland continue to be out. Cleveland playing around with their food last game. They did end up winning the game, but did not cover. So they are 0-2 against the numbers so far this season after losing to the Knicks in the first game. The Milwaukee Bucks on the opposite side, they won both games. They beat the Wizards by, I think it was 13. And then, of course, they beat the Toronto Raptors. I was on the Raptors in that last game. The Bucks have looked good, man. I like Miles Turner. I like the addition of Miles Turner. I like that they're able to play a little bit more defense. It's a significant upgrade from Brook Lopez to Miles Turner too. I don't think I took that into consideration. And they just keep talking about strength in numbers. If DeAndre Hunter doesn't play in this game, I do think that Cleveland still has a chance to win. But I would only be taking the points with the Bucks here. I don't like that they're still missing a point guard, but I do like that they played Toronto really, really well. I think Toronto's a pretty good defensive team. I don't think Cleveland's going to start off as hot as they did last season because of the injuries to Strus and Garland. Not that they won't win the game, but I think 6.5 still. I think that's a little bit too many points here. I think just to double check real quick, Milwaukee is off tomorrow. Yeah, Milwaukee's off tomorrow, and Cleveland's not. Cleveland got a big game against Detroit tomorrow. And they play in Detroit, and we know that that's always a little bit of a rivalry game for them. So I like the Bucks plus the points in this game. Only way I'm looking is Cleveland plus the points. I'm not Cleveland. I'm sorry, Milwaukee plus the points in this game. Only way that I would look, and I would definitely wait on the injury report. If you like the Cavs, you probably want to make sure that DeAndre Hunter is in the game. But we shall see. Bucks for me or nothing at all. Deuce says, I like the way the Bucks have been playing on the low. Me too. Jay says he liked AJ Green over his 8.5 points. I didn't really look into player props in this game. Deuce also likes Heat plus the 3. Bam over his 1.5 threes. Deuce says Bucks plus the points and Miles Turner over. So we in agreement there. BJ says he'll just take the Cavs on the money line, probably put it in a parlay. Let's get to the next game, which is the Raptors and the Mavs. This may be the last one that I went through too. I gotta kind of speed up a little bit. All right, so Raptors and the Mavs. This was a game that I don't know. This game feels very, very interesting to me. So let's start with the injury report. So Toronto is let's go through it. Toronto is going to be pretty healthy. They have Murray Bowles listed as questionable, which means somebody came off the injury report. I can't remember. Somebody else was on it though. And then on the opposite side, the Dallas Mavericks have Daniel Gafford listed as out. Of course, no Kyrie, no Dante Exum, and Brandon Williams as well. We've heard a lot of rumblings so far. Dallas Mavericks feels like they may be under the most fire of any team in the NBA right now. And of course, it's early, so you can't overreact. But they've lost back-to-back games. First game, they didn't even look competitive against the Spurs. And then you lose to the Washington Wizards too. And I think they lost by double digits to the Wizards. That's a tad bit concerning. So since the urgency level is through the roof for the Dallas Mavericks, the Toronto Raptors are playing the first leg of a back-to-back. They got a game against the Spurs tomorrow, so that's not necessarily the greatest thing. But Dallas, going back to them, 0-2 straight up and against the Spurs so far. Also first leg of a back-to-back, and they got the Oklahoma City Thunder coming to town tomorrow. So that's not a great spot. It kind of feels like Dallas throws, like puts all their chips in the middle of the table early in the season. They're already talking about, firing Nico Harrison again. I hear those chants going on. Dallas, I feel like got to play with a sense of urgency from the beginning. Now, the problem is just because you play with a sense of urgency don't mean that you got a point guard. Cooper Flag, it's not working out right now. Klay Thompson looks like a shell of himself. PJ Washington, I heard Jason Kidd talking about how he can't play him but so many minutes. He's doing everything for the team. He's trying to be the facilitator. He's trying to knock down threes. He's trying to play defense. I think he played 40 plus minutes. He said, I can't play him all 48. He's already played too many in the first two games. So D'Angelo Russell going to have to eventually step up. He doesn't have the worst matchup against Quickly in this game, but you will see where the minutes go. This is a super athletic team for the Dallas Mavericks, but offensively they stink. They just can't get the job done. So just thinking about that in general, I think I agree with the total coming down, open 232.5 down to 231.5. The Dallas Mavericks offense has not looked great. I think you get a much better defensive effort from them as well. And I kind of feel like they match up well. Like you got PJ Washington to throw at Brandon Ingram. You got Anthony Davis to be able to slow down Scotty Barnes. And then Jakob Poeltl, gets the Derek Lively matchup. Klay Thompson is an absolute cone on defense. He can't guard anybody at this stage of his career. And then Cooper Flag's going to have to play a little bit of defense as well. So I guess I say all that to say I lean under. But I will be watching this game. I'm not sure if I will be betting it, though. I kind of feel like I took Toronto against the Bucks, and I was able to watch most of that game on Friday night. I didn't like that Toronto couldn't make a free throw late, and I didn't like that Toronto turned the ball over a lot in the fourth quarter against the Milwaukee Bucks. And I am expecting this Dallas team to get it together defensively. So Team, I guess a under for the full game is what I would play if I was playing anything here. Matter of fact, let me just look at the pace numbers between these two teams, and then I'll go through the comments real quick. So the Dallas Mavericks are the worst offensive rated team in the NBA, 97.5 defense offensive rating. Worst effective field goal percentage team as well at 45.8. The Toronto Raptors through 2 games are Toronto is 9th in defensive rating, 14th in opponent effective field goal percentage, 7th in opponent turnover rate. So they are turning the ball over. Dallas is turning it over at the 4th highest rate. They're also getting the 4th fewest offensive rebounds. To me, that feels like effort. This is a massive front line, massive starting 5 for the Dallas Mavericks. I do feel like we will see a little bit of more effort in this game today, and then they probably get smoked tomorrow against the Oklahoma City Thunder. But we shall see. As far as pace goes, let's see. I feel like Dallas is playing pretty slow as well. It's hard to play fast when you don't have a point guard. Dallas is actually 8th in pace right now, according to my numbers. And Toronto's 2nd in pace. That feels weird to me. I feel like these teams aren't playing that fast, but that's what the numbers are saying. Let's see what you guys are saying. I like under though. Let's see. Jay Sunshine says automatically think the Raptors, but Mavs bounce back is in question. That's a fact. I agree with that. BJ says under. Vaughn says Mavs got to get flagged off the ball. He is not a primary ball handler, especially as a rookie, and I agree with that. Something he needs to be eased into. Would rather start D'Lo, and I agree. I mean, we'll see how stubborn Jason Kidd is. Clearly, they're seeing something in practice that's like, nah, we're not gonna start D'Lo. But I would probably put D'Lo in there as well. We'll see what the start lineup is. Maybe he switches it up today. BJ says first half under is a good look as well. I agree with that. Vaughn says as long as Flag is starting at point guard, I like Clay's under his points. Makes sense because he can't find them. He's not a true point guard. He has been going over his assists, though. I think his assist was 3.5 or 2.5, and he had 6 in the last game. It's just not translating into success, though. Brandon Williams was a dog last season. I'm not even sure he cracked the rotation, but they definitely need point guards. All of them are on the injury report. Adrian says, would you take Mavs money line? No, I need to see it with the Mavs before I can take their money line. That's the way I see it. Jason says, I passed this game personally. I agree with that. I kind of want to bet under though. Halo says Boston hasn't started 0-3 in 12 years. It's a new day in Boston. All right, let's get to the. I think this is the last game. Did I do Portland in? Yeah, I did do Portland. All right, so Lakers and Kings. Go through this one quickly, man. I didn't really look too deeply into it, honestly. I know Luka is listed as questionable. I think that's one of the reasons why the line hasn't ballooned to a little bit bigger. This was at 2.5 yesterday. Total was at 230. Total has come down from 230 down to 226.5, 227. But Luka is listed as questionable. Jackson Hayes is also listed as questionable. Of course, no Maxi Kleber, no LeBron. The Kings have Zach LaVine listed as questionable. Like, it's easy for me to be like, you know what, I'm going to chill. No Keegan Murray, of course. No Clifford. Divisional game. Lakers got a game tomorrow back at the crib against the Portland Trail Blazers. Sacramento is off tomorrow. They are off tomorrow. I think. Yeah, I didn't see anything for them as far as playing tomorrow. Lakers have beaten the Clippers 4 straight times. Sacramento beat Utah by 1 as a 6-point favorite in their last game. They play OKC on Tuesday. So, yeah, no games for them until Tuesday. Lakers are by far the better team, in my opinion. Do the Lakers, come out and play with their food after beating the Minnesota Timberwolves on Friday? I would think not. I think Luka does play. I think the Lakers do win. The Kings are a team, in my opinion, that doesn't play a lot of defense, but we shall see. I didn't really look too deeply into the game, especially when I saw the injury reports. I'm not trying to play the guessing game in the mind game. So that's my thought process. I would probably be on the Lakers in this spot, but I didn't bet the game. Probably won't bet the game either. And this is 9:00 start time, so we got plenty of time here. That's real quick for me. Jacque says Lakers versus Kings money. Jay Sean says that Jaylen Brown hairline clip took me out. Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. That Beijing was thick, man. Pause. Westbrook against the Lakers. Kings feel sneaky. Pass. I'll pass too. Vaughn says anytime the Lakers are playing, give me Dr. Doncic points at least until Bron is back. Yeah, he's had 40 in both games, 40 plus in both games. So I could disagree with that at all. All right, next game up. I do like this one. The Portland Trailblazers and the Los Angeles Clippers. So we look at the injury report first. Portland has Chauncey Billups. I'm just kidding. Chauncey not on the injury report, but he won't be coaching, of course. Scoot Henderson and Robert Williams are listed as out. And then on the Clippers side of things, Bradley Beal is listed as questionable. And Jordan Miller, I think he missed the first 2 games for the Clippers. He also is on the injury report here as well. So first leg of a back-to-back for Portland, of course. They play the Lakers tomorrow. I just talked about that. And then on the Clippers side of things, they got a big game coming up. It's not tomorrow, but they play Golden State Warriors, and that game is in Golden State. So not a long travel, but they got to be on the road for that game. The Clippers did win 2 of the 3 matchups last season. They covered both games that they won. In the game that they didn't win, they actually lost outright. So they didn't cover the spread or win that game. Both teams are 2-0 to the over so far this season. And that's what I kind of wanted to look. I kind of feel like this total is a tad. It's going the opposite way. It's actually coming down from 225 down to 224, 224.5. But I kind of think that this goes over. I kind of think that the way I see it is that the Clippers may potentially overlook the Portland Trailblazers and not bring it on the defensive end, especially with Golden State, the divisional game on deck. The Portland Trailblazers offense has been sneaky good so far. Like against the Timberwolves, that game went over the total. I know they were at home, but that game went over the total. And then they absolutely mollywopped the Golden State Warriors in the next game. But Golden State was at a humongous rest disadvantage with, being the second leg of a back-to-back with travel coming off an overtime game as well. I went back and looked at it though. Since post-COVID, the Portland Trailblazers have played the Clippers 7 times. 5 of the last 7 meetings when they played specifically in LA have actually gone up and over the total when Portland has played the Clippers in LA. So I kind of agree with I don't think the total is really going up. I see it down to 224.5, but I also see it at 225.5. I kind of think that points will be scored in this game, especially with Portland on the first leg of a back-to-back. I also think Portland can cover. I like Portland plus the points as well. I think this line open I saw last night 7.5. I don't agree with it going up to 8.5. If I can get a plus 8.5 a little bit later tonight, I'm not gonna bet it right now. But if I can get an 8.5, I'll take the points with Portland. I do think that the Clippers are by far the better team. I just think 8.5 is too many points. I know Portland got the Lakers tomorrow, but I think it's too many points. I like what the Portland Trailblazers are doing, and defensively, if they can bring that energy on the road, I definitely think they can keep it within the number. Drew Holiday being there now. Kamara is one of the better, 3-and-D type players, especially defensively. Deni Avdija has gone up and over his points prop in both games. He's listed at 19.5. He was somebody that I considered as well. Donovan Klingen's been playing pretty well for them as well. And then you just need Shaedon Sharpe to be, a little bit more consistent. But I like the Portland Trailblazers. I do. I think that they can get the job done. I will be looking at them plus the points tomorrow. I'm sorry, not tomorrow. Tonight in this game, and seeing what happens with the game for the Lakers tonight and the game for Portland tomorrow. Let me know what I need to bet for tomorrow. But that's my thought process on this one. Let's see. Nobody's stopping Sabonis. Sabonis may be able to get whatever it is he wants because I don't think Aiden gonna be able to stop him for sure. Reeves over his 2.5 threes. Reeves over his assists. Austin Reeves has been dishing. I've been looking at Austin Reeves' assists. With no LeBron, Austin Reeves' assists has absolutely been going crazy. Real quick, I'm going to just pull this up real quick, and then we'll get into a quick recap. I'm not going over the Minnesota Timberwolves game because that line has moved already too much. Benedict Mathurin got hurt yesterday, which is why that line moved from 8 all the way up to, I think it's 12 for Toronto. So, I'm not sorry. Not for Toronto. For Minnesota, yeah, it's 12.5. I'm not touching that game. But talking about talking about Austin Reeves. Real quick, go to Outlier. This is linked in the description if you guys want to check out Outlier. So Austin Reeves, his assists with no LeBron. See if I can find it. Assists with no. Look at that. He's at 6.5 for the day, and it's plus money. He had 9 against Golden State and 11 against Minnesota. I feel like people not paying attention. With no LeBron, dude has been good. He's been really, really good. If we go. If we just look at, let's see, do we have potentials on here? They don't. If we look at last season, if we filter this to games played without LeBron, we can see that he averaged 8.3 and went over in 5 of his 9 games as well. So 6.5 for if Luka doesn't play, I mean, he might get 10 assists because I still don't believe in the Kings defense, even though the Lakers will have to knock down some shots. So that's my thought process on Austin Reeves. I'm glad somebody mentioned a player prop because I had wrote that down, but I hadn't really put it in my notes. What Vaughn said about, Luka is on an absolute tear right now. No way I could take his under. So if he plays, I expect him to be in. And if he plays, I expect him to be healthy. And I expect nobody on that Kings defense to slow him down. Let's see. 77 figures says Blazers +8. I agree with that. Kamara is my guy. I love Kamara. 8 feels like a lot for the Clippers, leaning Blazers. Got to do some more research, but I like Portland. We'll probably get to the window with them. I like it. Portland is a fun watch. They all could eat. Noah says, shout out to you, Chris, for doing the Sunday show. Even though the NBA is funky on Sundays, I'm trying to cash something though. I hear that. Got to leave here with something, man. Did you talk about Castle's threes against Brooklyn? I was looking at Stephen Castle. I forgot to mention this. I don't think I wrote it in my notes. I was looking at his assists, Noah. I think it's 6.5. I think Stephen Castle could be in for a big assist game. Brooklyn defense, I talked about how atrocious they are. If you go back and watch, them defensively, I feel like as long as he gets the minutes, I think his assist could absolutely go crazy in this one. Vaughn says, nah, you're right on Reeves' assist. I definitely peeped it, but I bet heavy on Luka. I didn't want to double dip with too many units already on Luka. That makes a lot of sense. All right, so quick recap for myself, man. Detroit, I think they get the job done. I didn't bet it yet. Detroit -3. We'll see what happens with the Jaylen Brown injury. I do see a 3 out there as well. So make sure you guys are shopping around, get the best of the number. Spurs, I think it's 118.5, 119.5, their team total. Brooklyn's been giving it up to everybody. And then Portland plus the points tonight are my big watches. If I was going to add anything, which I probably should have added this, I didn't. It would be it's too many points for me with Cleveland. I know that they're at home, but I like the way Milwaukee's playing. So Milwaukee plus the 6.5. Dogs typically cover. We see some crazy things happen on Sundays, man. So I'm looking at Milwaukee as well. I like a few more dogs rather than favorites today. And then I didn't mention any of the player props here, but you guys heard me talk about all of those. So best of luck, man. You can get an 8.5 for Portland too on ESPN Bet right now as well. So best of luck on whatever it is that you guys are playing. I truly appreciate everybody for tapping in and listening to me talk about basketball on Sundays. I try to get the work done for you guys so you don't have to do it. Maybe you don't have enough time. Check the resources out as well. OddsJam, Moneyballer, Outlier, Jackson, your AI Sports Betting tool. Jackson will also start to have first basket data as well. So if you guys are interested in checking that out, use that link in the description. Hit the like button for me on the way out. Subscribe to the channel, man. Best of luck on all your action, NFL, NBA, soccer, whatever it is that you're betting, man. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Subscribe to the channel and turn that notification bell on so you know when I go live, and I will catch you guys in the next one, man. I'm out.